Nepal's economy has always been powered by two massive engines, agriculture and tourism. But what happens when both of those engines start to stall? Today, we're going to break down how connecting them through agritourism isn't just a nice idea, it's a powerful business strategy that could solve some of the country's most pressing challenges. Let's get into the analysis. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll diagnose the core economic problem. Then, we'll look at agritourism as the solution, see how the business model actually works, map out a clear launch plan, and finally, get real about the challenges and the success stories that prove this can be done. So, to really grasp the opportunity here, you first have to understand the crisis. Nepal is effectively caught in a perfect storm. Its foundational farming sector is in trouble, and at the same time, its world-famous tourism industry just isn't delivering the economic punch it should be. Just look at this number. Agriculture's share of the entire economy has plummeted down to just 24%. And remember, this is a sector that employs the vast majority of the population. The result? A productivity crisis so deep that a country once famous for exporting food now has to import it. That's a huge red flag. Now let's flip over to tourism. The average visitor spends just $48 a day. That figure is a critical warning sign. It tells us that Nepal is attracting crowds, for sure, but it's failing to capture their economic value. This puts the country at risk of becoming just another low-cost destination, not a premium one. And here's the really crucial part. These two problems feed each other. The crisis in farming pushes young, talented people to leave the countryside. Meanwhile, the tourism industry keeps offering the same generic treks instead of the unique, local experiences that modern travelers are actually willing to pay for. It's a vicious cycle of stagnation. So what's the move? What if you could build a bridge between these two struggling sectors? Well, that's exactly where agritourism comes in. It's a single, focused strategy designed to solve both problems at the same time. Now, let's be really clear about what we mean by agritourism. This isn't just about a quick farm visit. We're talking about a concrete business model. It's about taking agricultural assets, the land, the food, the local culture, and turning them into the kind of high-value, authentic experiences that tourists are actively searching for. And when you do that, the benefits are incredibly powerful. For farmers, it means a new, stable income stream that isn't totally dependent on unpredictable crop prices. For the communities, it creates skilled jobs that give young people a real reason to stay. And for the tourism sector as a whole, it introduces premium experiences that drive up that average daily spend. You're revitalizing the farm, the community, and the national economy. Okay, so that's the big picture. But how does this actually work as a business? Let's drill down into how a farm can turn its everyday operations into real, tangible revenue. The core of the business model is built on a really simple but effective framework. A successful agritourism venture has to offer guests three things: something beautiful to look at, something engaging to do, and something authentic to buy. This look, do, buy model is the engine that drives the whole business. And here's what that looks like in the real world. Under hospitality, you've got things like homestays or private cottages. For activities, that's the do part, you can offer really high-value experiences like farm-to-table dinners or cooking classes. And for products, a simple farm shop selling fresh produce or local crafts creates an entirely new revenue stream. The best part is, this isn't just some abstract theory. There is a clear, operational blueprint for anyone who wants to launch an agritourism venture in Nepal right now. We can break the whole launch process down into 4 distinct stages. It starts with strategic planning and getting legally registered. Next is securing the capital you need. Then comes the fun part, designing a truly memorable guest experience. And finally, you have to execute a smart marketing and sales strategy. Now, I know bureaucracy can seem intimidating, but the registration process here is actually very well defined. You're looking at registering the company, getting a tax number, that's the PAN, securing a tourism license, and registering with the local municipality. And for smaller operations like homestays, there's even a simplified path available. It's very achievable. So what about the money? Well, capital can be sourced from a mix of channels. Beyond your own personal savings, there are government grant programs out there, offering up to 2.5 million rupees. You've also got support from international organizations like the World Bank and even specialized loans from banks like the Agricultural Development Bank. Of course, a great idea is one thing, but execution is everything. So let's be honest about the challenges on the ground, and then look at the proof that this model absolutely works. The challenges are real, and they are significant. Poor rural infrastructure, especially roads, is probably the biggest hurdle. On top of that, you have to deal with inconsistent policies, potential liability issues, and of course, the natural seasonality of both farming and tourism. Any solid business plan has to have strategies to mitigate these risks. But the successful operators show us exactly how to overcome these things. This insight from a top-rated farm stay really says it all. The secret sauce is making the guest experience interactive. That's the core value. That's what builds a brand strong enough to handle those external pressures. And we have proof that this works at all kinds of different scales. You see it in small, dedicated operators like Hasera Farmstay, which has stellar online ratings. You see it in larger, scaled-up businesses like the Prakriti Eco Resort. And you even see it at a regional level, where the Ilam Tea Gardens have built an entire global brand around a single agricultural product. So when you look at the data, the business model, and the real-world success stories, they all point to an incredibly powerful synergy. It's a clear strategy for turning agricultural heritage into economic prosperity. The question really isn't about potential anymore. It's about execution. So, is agritourism the key to unlocking Nepal's sustainable growth? The answer seems to be growing right there in its own fields.